Diversity is all around us, and today we will explore that diversity in the form of physical media available to everyone that sets aside a budget to do so. You know, one day I'll put aside some time for myself and go back to enjoying games in their entirety, but until then, I'll pummel myself into submission playing title after title to review for all of you, my loyal watchers. So a sub would be greatly coveted if you don't mind. Just allow those nerve impulses to send that message to your right index finger and click a simple on-screen prompt. I mean, there are worse things you could do with that finger. To my adoring fans or newcomers, let's settle in for the duration of 5 more titles that I think might just overfloweth your serotonal cup. This game might as well be taking applicants for brutality because it's no heating pad with a tens unit. On September 26th of 2024, an online or single-player top-down action roguelike solidified its presence on the PS5, and I was there to take my lashes like a true gamer slave. Not sure if any of you have heard of the title Curse of the Dead Gods, but the same creators are responsible for this little raven of sunshine. Developed by Pastech Games and published by Nikon, I had to reassess my expertise with a controller for a moment and exercise patience with deliberate patterns to get anywhere fast on this one. This isn't a title for ones who dislike instant obliteration, because the tone is set for HP depletion if you jump in without respect for the enemies. Despite my pussitis, I think something can be salvaged from a game that is punishing, but also enticing. Let's invite death as we enter the parameters of review. If you enjoy renditions of folklore aplenty, you'll find delight in deciphering who the different characters are you choose from for your next superpower beatdown. You must choose, but choose wisely, because each one will have their own unique movesets consisting of attacks, a power move, a special, defense, and an ultimate ability. Sounds like the cards are in your favor, but don't get cocky, lest ye be stricken down with haste. When you aren't being sautéed by the enemy threat, you are also being timed for the next boss encounter. This makes Ravenswatch a bit frustrating because if you don't explore the right area in the time allotted, you can miss the best power-ups for the imminent boss fights. The more you use a character, however, you gain overall XP or unlocks, so this is what drove me to keep playing, but it would be nice if everyone in your roster could level up a little so you're not roped into playing with one character for so long. It was also frustrating that your dash had a cooldown, which I felt added to the difficulty in battles. I mean, try that mechanic in Hades and you'd never get anywhere. Solo play is no doubt daunting, and that's why co-op is key, but unfortunately you don't have a local co-op option, so resorting to online is a must, and it opens this game up considerably, but for introverts such as myself, it lacks the options I need to progress quicker through its levels. There is so much potential here if the lone player were considered just a bit more, hence my score of 7 out of 10. Aside from graphics looking relatively similar to the PS3 but in HD, and frame rate drops on the all-powerful PS5, revisiting this classic with some refinement was invigorating. Released October 28th of 2024, Grasshopper, aka Suda51, developed and published this over-the-shoulder action shooter puzzler. Your lover has been kidnapped, but I wouldn't worry too much because he's not really a looker. Like a Plague's Tale's rats are sensitive and scared of light, your demon foes become weakened and incapacitated when you expose them to it. Fortunately, here in the US, we didn't censor out the HD nudity, but don't try to get your rocks off with the Japanese version, because your gas tank will remain on full if you try. Let's get strapped and enter the realm of review. I wouldn't say it's a profound comeback, but it does recall some of the nostalgia and humor that made it so decadent the first time around. It's always a pleasure to travel with your hand cannon named Johnson, but I wish the gunplay would have been redone because I happen to remember how bad it was to get a lock on targets, especially if you enjoy headshots. And I like my headshots. I always appreciated this game's pacing, and around 8 to 10 hours for completion, it feels ideal for an over-the-shoulder shooter. My score may have dropped slightly since its initial release, but this is still a good time when you want to conjure up 2011 again. I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. We have here what was called a Call of Duty zombie killer, but do we have a worthy successor or a claim that skirts around the truth? Published and developed in Britain by Wales Interactive and released April 18th of 2024, we don't have that exact claim from the developer, but its clone tone is worn on its sleeve. It was easy to fall in when so many similarities were utilized. What is claimed is that this is the spiritual successor spin-off to Maid of Sker, taking place after the evil ending of this game where Elizabeth Williams takes over Sker Island. Your duty is to stop her by eradicating the siren song from broadcasting and descending the world into hell. It doesn't quite kick like Nazi zombies, but at least your cause is noble and action-packed. Now, let's mow down a review. FPS zombie games somehow manage to keep the most afflicted people with ADD coming back for more, but why in the name of Satan's hog is there no couch co-op here? It's truly an undead travesty, especially when I wanted this to substitute for Call of Duty Nazi Zombies with my broho. At least you have up to 4 players online, but this is what killed it for me. I like to see a little flirtation with roguelikes, maybe not PDA, but the incorporation of miracle items were a nice roguelike touch. The overall solo play was great through the 4 maps, but unless you pay for internet twice, you won't be playing with friends. Now, this could easily be a 7.5 or perhaps an 8, but the glaring lack of couch co-op slides it into the 7 spot for me personally and screams missed opportunity from the most secluded island. The one thing I'm very thankful for is the fact that there wasn't a scratch and sniff mushroom sticker on the cover of this game. But that would have been humorous nonetheless. On December 11th of 2024, we had a developer called Red Limb Studio handing out bloody stems in this third-person platforming shooter. Taking on the role of publishing Fatal Error, Destructive Creations, and Couchplay coughed up the funds to get this one out of the ground. The dialogue is packed with tongue-in-cheek humor, and you control one of many sentient carrots in a group named the Avengers. As silly and wacky as this sounds, it really worked to provide an overall incredible time. Let's sniff out a review. Let's get one of the letdowns out of the way immediately. Graphics. Such a beautifully detailed drawing on the cover makes me wish they would have hand-drawn the fungi in this game accordingly. Not to say the style isn't fairly unique, but just not what my eyes were craving exactly. But despite the lack of visual stimulation, my carrot I played with remained rigid for the full 12 hours it took to complete. Okay, maybe I ate a little watermelon for that wholesome boost of citrulline, but shh, we won't tell. I mean, look at this silly game. I was so digging the shooting, the puzzling, and the beta-carotene that I shirked my dadly duties just for my fungal fix. The game is by no means perfect and suffers from some frame rate and audio issues, but the exploration, hidden items, wacky nature, and downright vegicide was enough for me to recommend this game quite highly. The next time you need a substitute to doing shrooms, I recommend slaughtering them instead of partaking in the vegetable this game has to offer. This was a fun 7.5 out of 10. La 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 la. Wake up! Don't be a sleepy Smurf, because you need to awaken the village before the return of Gargamel, and you'll have to do so by entering each unique dream of your Smurf patriots. This was published by Oculus Studios and developed by Microids with a release date of October 24th of 2024. I think if my town was asleep, I'd just infiltrate GameStop and take back the years of inflated prices by treating myself to the PS5 section, but since I can't cast spells, I'll have to rely on my bartering skills instead. Have I mentioned how much I like couch co-op? If not, then I'm proud to say you have that support here, and it's Smurferific. Also, set aside roughly 8 to 9 hours for full completion, but know you're in for a succulent Smurf snack with a fresh feeling and clever stage progression, followed by memorable boss encounters. By the time I was done with this gem, I was singing I'm Blue by Eiffel 65. What a great and unexpected 8 out of 10 I give this one. There you have it, Console 5 fam, a list of 5 diverse titles that span 5 different genres of gaming. I hope you've gained wisdom along the ride to expand your collection, and I hope you join me for Volume 8 next to tackle some other unique flavors to this on-growing system. I hate to be the subscription police, but pull over and show me your likes and subscription information, will ya? It just might get you out of a ticket, should I choose to write you one. Many thanks for your time today, and I bid you many cheers.